so expensive, we're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor where the bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party's mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 145 of Fired Up. I'm your host, Dom Consul. Joining me as always, Chris Uche. What's up, man?
Nothing much, dude. Great day to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, I mean, listen, like we're without Mike this week. It's as I always say, like when he's not around, it's the insane are running the asylum here. So let's hope this train doesn't get off the tracks a little here. You know.
I think we'll be all right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
we got some focus this week. Our brains aren't just everywhere.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for you, but my brain is absolutely everywhere.
Okay. Well,
between life, work,
baby.
the Eagles, the baby, all the above. So my head is kind of like spinning recently. So speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, we're all.
You're not much. You're not much.
Yeah,
you're not far behind. So how you doing, man? What's going on?
Nothing much, dude. Same stuff. Just was waiting all day for 12 o'clock. I had like this almost insane. Like I was talking to my wife. Like 11:50 comes and I'm sitting at my computer at work. Like I started having like a panic attack at work. And it's like the most craziest thing ever where I'm like, why am I like having anxiety right now?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh snap, free agency starts in 10 minutes. That's probably why. And do you ever think like other fan bases get like as nuts as Philadelphia fans do when it comes to like stuff that isn't relevant sometimes?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think you'd get this because I think I know the answer. Do you think you'd get this crazy if the Eagles weren't as good as they are?
Yeah.
I do too. Because
absolutely.
Because remember like the back in the days with like the Bradford days, like we had no chance, but we didn't know that. But like we had no chance with Bradford to win a Super Bowl. But like we were all in.
We thought we did
at 12 o'clock or because I don't. When did I looked up today. I think it was 2012 was the first time that they did the legal tampering. So
yeah.
like, we're sitting there like every year we could win this thing. So yeah.
Dude, I remember
I agree.
The DeMarco Murray signing, like just like constantly, like from 12 o'clock on, I was probably useless at work. Like literally just useless. Like just sitting there refreshing my page every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me today too. But yeah, so let's talk about it. So obviously today at noon, the legal tampering in the NFL started. And I was shocked the first name that I saw today. I did not expect it. I don't know if he was the first name announced or the first name that broke, but it's the first one that I saw.
Swift.
Eagle, yeah, former Eagle DeAndre Swift. Now former Eagle DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Signs in Chicago. What was it? 3 years,
24 million.
Was it 24 million or 24 guaranteed?
I think it's 24 million, 3 years. It was 8 million a year. I think it was 20 guaranteed.
That's not bad for him.
Honestly. No, it's a really good move for him. I actually just before we got on, I was reading that the Eagles tried this morning to sign him,
and it was just too much.
Yeah, he bet on himself. Yeah.
Oh, good for him. I'm rooting for him. Obviously, unless he plays the Eagles, but hometown kid, obviously St. Joe's. So it's cool to see him go off and.
Yeah, I don't know if there was an actual discount there. Like, I wonder if there was a hometown discount given.
So, right. So, I kind of want to go back to Swift a little bit later because I think he ties into what I want to get to. The first, so let's kind of look at the Eagles first. The first big move, Bryce,
Tough.
Bryce Huff, 3 years, 51 million, I believe it was,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Listen, his first 3 years, I think it was 7.5 sacks the first 2 years combined, and then last year had a breakout year, 10 sacks last year. I think I could have read this wrong, but I think it said on only 42% of the snaps he played.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
So that's actually not that's good value.
Yeah, it's great value.
But I think it's a bit of a gamble because you don't really know what he is. Is he that guy that gets the 10 sacks every year? Is he a guy that gets 15 and a half? I don't know. Is he a guy that gets the 7.5 in 3 years? We're not really sure. I also think he's the highest paid
undrafted free
agent. Yeah, ever.
That's not a quarterback.
Right. Exactly.
Ever. Yeah. I mean, good for him. He definitely went and secured the bag. The only thing about him is, from what I was reading, is he really is just a pass. Like, he's a pass rusher.
But that's the problem that the Eagles have, is like their best run stopping defensive end is in his 15th season, and we're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him. But yeah, I it's just like Hassan Reddick's not really great against the run. Josh Sweat, not really good against the run.
Yep.
So like we're just kind of bringing in guys, and we're kind of hoping that the interior defensive tackles are the run stoppers, and I just don't think that's the game anymore.
Well, you're also forgetting a big name that has to have a breakout year this year. I think Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Has to have a breakout year this year.
So why do you think that? Because I don't think he got the opportunity last year, not because he's not good enough, but because the Eagles historically don't play rookies often.
I think he has to have a big year this year, because if he doesn't, they are indebted to Hassan Reddick. Like, they have to pay him whatever he wants if he does not have a good year this year.
But what if they trade him before?
I don't think that he's going anywhere. I don't think Reddick's going anywhere. I think the Eagles are going back to that 2 years ago mentality, where now they bring in another kid that could rush the quarterback, and it's going to be like a constant rotation of these guys instead of like letting Sweat and Reddick play 85% of the snap.
Right. So I kind of feel like the Huff move was more along the lines of like the thing that they did in going into 2016 and 2017, the Nigel Bradhams, the Brandon Brooks, the Rodney McLeods, the guys that like were good, not superstar names, but guys that really contributed to a great team, and did a lot. I kind of feel like Huff is in that mold. He got a lot more money than those guys probably got.
Yeah, it's weird because like his name came up today, and I'm like, oh, like I knew that he was a player today. I knew that he was like somebody that a lot of teams were looking into, but he wasn't somebody that like he's not a household name. Like he wasn't a household name before that, but he got paid household name money.
Sure. That I think that's the difference between those guys and him. And obviously the money was a lot less back then. I mean, what was that, 6, 7, 8 years ago? But yes, I agree. He got a lot of money for a guy that we've never heard of.
Yeah, exactly. So, and undrafted free agent.
But I'm good with the gamble because he's kind of like the Walmart brand or the ShopRite brand, Hassan Reddick. So like, I like Josh Sweat a lot. I do, but how do you? Hassan Reddick's a better player.
Yeah,
and he's probably worth
more. He's a better athlete.
Absolutely, and I don't know. I think I'd rather keep Huff here with a guy to learn from.
Reddick.
In Reddick, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That I think the way that the market moves within the next 2 days, they're going to make a decision on extension of. I think they are either going to extend him or not extend him within like the next 2 days.
I think the cap going up really helps them too.
Yeah,
it helps every team, but like I think it really helps this situation. But yeah, we'll see what happens there.
You know what else is like great that I was listening to today? People don't realize how like the number that Jalen Hurts signed, the 225, like everybody, it's a huge deal, but his cap hit is so low. Like this year, it's only like a $12.5 million cap hit for last year or 2 years ago, top 2 quarterback. Dak
Right.
Prescott this year, his cap hit is $59 million.
Good for him.
But I mean,
No,
like
I know.
he put his team in a situation where they can't make moves.
Right. They have
They're
no
like
money.
stuck. They have $2 million of free space right now to move around. And the
Right.
one thing that I don't have to worry about with Howie is he's going to find that room wherever he can find it.
Sure.
But you brought up Huff, but you forgot the move that happened before that.
What was that move that happened before that?
Landon Dickerson.
Oh, we're gonna get to him too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to talk about free agency first.
Okay.
We'll get to Dixon too. Obviously the other moves too. But this is the highlight here. This is what we're getting to. And get the popcorn ready. We were waiting to get to this part of the conversation. You know, and this is where I kind of wanted to bring Swift back, where we're sitting there and we see DeAndre Swift sign somewhere else, and it's like, well, that was a pretty good deal he got. I mean, you know, if it's not Swift, like, I didn't think they were gonna. Or I'm sorry, if they weren't gonna go in for Barkley, I thought Swift was the next thing for this team.
Yeah.
And there was a point today where it was like, Houston's close to Barkley, man. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh man, we just let Swift go for $8 million a year for 3 years, like, you know, and then the news drops. And I think you're the happiest person in Philadelphia.
I'm so happy you don't understand. I can finally cheer for him. Like for the past 5 years, I've been wishing for nothing but the worst for the guy. Well, at least for 2 games of the year. Like
Right.
2 games of the year, I hope nothing but the worst.
You hope nothing but the worst of those 2 games, but you also hope he rushes for 1,600 yards and the Giants go 3 and
Yeah.
have 3 wins.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And now I get to cheer for him. I was, I think 5 days ago it broke that like the Eagles and Saquon were like there were mutual interests within the two, and like that day I was just like, okay, I sent you guys a text like I'm excited, like it's got me perked up, and now 5 days later I get to see number 26 and Kelly Green. Like I can't be happier than that.
Yeah. I was a little bit so I'm excited. I'm very excited. I like Barkley a lot. He was so much fun to watch in college. I'm not necessarily like a specific college team. I don't root for a specific team. I just like players, so I like to watch those players. Like Caleb Williams, obviously USC sucked this year, but he was fun to watch. So like Andrew Luck was fun to watch at Stanford. So I'd watch those specific games, and watching a lot of Penn State games that year because he was so much fun to watch. It sucked to see him go to the Giants. I wasn't a Penn State fan. I'm not really a Penn State fan. So like it kind of sucked to see a guy that you really liked go to the Giants, division rival.
Yeah.
And now it just kind of like I and we talked about this today. We in our group text. Like I'm all for it for the right price. This was before the news broke about how much he got and that he signed here, and et cetera. So like I don't know. I was like if they overpay, I'm just not into it. Like. I think because I said it last year when I got so much shit from the other guys on the 100th episode where you don't want Bijan Robinson. No, because I think I could run it for 1,000 yards behind this team. Like we saw DeAndre Swift who is a very good running back, but like couldn't stay healthy in his career and rush for 800, 900 yards every year. Come here and rush for 1,000 yards. We saw the year before Miles Sanders, who's a nice running back, run for 1,000 yards for the first time. So I'm just thinking to myself, why put so much money into one guy when you could draft a guy or get a lower end guy, which I thought they were gonna do. And then once I saw that the news broke about Saquon and like how much he is really getting, and he's only 3 years, and then you add in the not only running the ball, but he's not gonna run 25 times a game like he was in New Jersey or in New York.
Yeah. Well, you were right, New Jersey.
Yeah, true. But you mentioned in the group chat, he's the best pass blocking running back in the league.
Yep.
So you're paying for that, especially with a team like the Eagles with Ertz. He just getting hit a lot this year, and then you also add in the fact of catching the ball too.
Yep.
I looked at Kellen Moore. I looked at what's his name?
Eckler.
I looked at his numbers. A little underwhelming. But he played 14 games. I thought he played less, honestly. I thought it was more like the 10 or 11 range. Played 14 games last year. I think he had 51 catches.
Yep.
for over 400 yards, which honestly that's actually pretty good for 51 catches. But even looking at like Tony Pollard and the way that he was able to the year before in Dallas in
Yep.
2022, just what he was able to do with him was, it's very encouraging.
And Barkley is also a bigger back, like
Yeah.
when he catches the ball. Like he almost is receiver like when he's out there. I'm not comparing him to a receiver, but he's harder to take down than Eckler is. Eckler's a smaller body guy, easier to take
Yeah.
down. Dude, the contract that he signed, like 12 million a year. I know it's a little bit high for a running back, but when you go back and you look at the Zeke contract that he got a couple years ago, and I can't remember who got a big one. Why can't I think? Devonta Freeman. Like,
Right.
do you remember those contracts? They're about in the same realm, like 11, $12 million a year. And you could possibly have, he's 27. You got him for 3 years. He could possibly be like a Derrick Henry type running back where his best years are ahead of him.
So yeah, I think the encouraging thing is they're not going to use him as much, so he has a better chance of staying healthy.
Yeah.
And they're going to use him efficiently. But if that's the thing, he's healthy, he's a top 3 running back in the league.
Yeah. And you know what else?
2.
The other thing that's crazy that I was like, that popped up today is like, who's going to stop the tush push now?
Right.
Like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley both squat 600 pounds. So like they don't even have to bring Hurts on for the quarterback sneak anymore. Like on that 3rd and 1, Barkley could just go behind there.
Somebody tweeted today, now your quarterback and your running back squat for a combined 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. Who's stopping them on that?
And I also think it's very encouraging too. Now that Saquon comes to a competent team and a competent franchise and a competent offensive line, there are going to be so much less big bodies hitting him. Now he's going to face more of the secondary and breaking those tackles instead of trying to break a 300-pound deer coming at him. Like, so I think that also is something to really look at in keeping him healthy, because I know people have concerns, but guess what? He only missed 4 games the last 2 years combined. So I understand the ACL a couple years ago, and then I think it was year 2 through 4 he played 28 games. I get it, but I just think he's more efficient. They use him more efficiently here.
Do you think
and that keeps him healthier?
Do you think Jason Kelsey looks and goes like, maybe I shouldn't hang it up? Like I'll one more year, one more run.
Maybe I should have waited 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, do you think
more weeks?
he knew that they were in on a guy like Barkley? Like, does that make you want to stay?
I mean, from hearing from his press conference, I think he said in his press conference, or it might have been after, he might have went on WIP or something. He had said something along the lines of, although I'm not playing, I will be a part of the team and doing things week by week. And so I mean, that's like the next best thing. Like, if I can't go play, at least I'll be around it every day still. And I'm sure if they were to win, he would have some part of getting a ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so those are the. Are there any more signings today? I know they were in on McKinney, but obviously he went to the Packers. They were very close, Eagles and McKinney, on a deal.
Yeah, they just missed out on him.
Yeah, I don't know. Were there any other announcements today?
They signed a linebacker from the Saints.
The Saints? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a white bald dude. Yeah, I don't.
No, he's not white. He's not white.
Oh no, I thought
no. He's what's his name? I just saw it pop up. He's an inside linebacker. He started 3 or 4 games last year. I think he's more of like just a body right now, a depth guy. Trying to see what you have with Cunningham. I mean, I honestly think that they're in play for Patrick Queen, but
I thought he signed.
No, he didn't.
Or he's close.
Is he? If he's close, I haven't seen anything close to it. But is he going back to Baltimore?
No.
Where'd you see it?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. No, you almost got me there, Mike.
Dom.
Dom, I'm sorry. You almost got me there, Dom.
For some reason I thought that I saw something that said he was close in signing somewhere. Oh, Seattle.
He's close to
He's close
signing.
to Seattle. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you want to go there?
I guess they're offering him the most money.
Yeah, I just know after last year being on a team with Baltimore. Why would you want to go take a 10 steps back? Is what you're
Well,
gonna
isn't the coach from Baltimore? Their new
is
coach?
is that
I believe
it
so.
is the defensive
Yeah.
coordinator. Yeah, I guess. I just think you're going from a proven team to, like, you're not going to win the NFC West, not with the 49ers out there.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean in 4 years he's not going to be able to, because soon that team's going to implode too. McCaffrey's going to eventually, and within the next 4 years, you're probably losing more than half that Niners team. So if
Yeah.
you sign a 4-year deal in 2 years, 3 years, you're eventually going to have to pay Purdy or a quarterback, whoever that quarterback is. But seriously, and then you're going to have Debo Samuel and George Kittle and that offensive line and those defensive players that are great, the Warners and the secondary. You're gonna have to decide who to pick,
Yeah.
who you're gonna pay. So they're gonna lose. It's like the 2017 Eagles. You gotta pick who you're gonna pay, and you kind of have a little bit of a roadblock there. But yeah. So let's move on a little bit. Those are the two signings. Let's get back to what we were talking about. You mentioned Landon Dickerson. He signed, what was it, a 4-year, $87 million?
I think it was the highest ever for a guard.
Yep. He resigns an hour before noon
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging. Obviously going into year 4, he's got 2 Pro Bowls. And he's one of the best at his position. So, I'm happy he's here. We talked a little bit earlier today, and I keep seeing around like all these people that are like, all right, well, you signed Dickerson, now let's go sign Devontae. And I don't think they signed Devontae this offseason. I think they 5th-year option him.
Yeah.
And then they pay him next year.
I just wonder what it looks like when you don't sign him. You know what I mean? Like, what does that say to the guy?
Right, but that's why it's in place, the 5th-year option. Like,
Yeah.
you know that as a first-round pick, you have to understand like that they have the option. Like,
Yeah. I don't like. It usually seems like those guys become disgruntled when they get that 5th-year option.
Yeah, but I also think that he's on an organization that has proven we'll pay you. Like
Right.
as long as you perform, we'll pay you. Just trust us. I think the 5th-year option is there for this reason. Exactly what the Eagles are doing right now is going out and being able to spend money this offseason so we can 5th-year option you, so that next year we compete this year, but next year we'll pay you.
What year did he come? Is this
Same thing as same draft as Dickerson. So this will be their 4th year.
their 4th year?
Yep.
Okay, so they're going into their 4th year of play.
Yep.
Okay.
They just finished year 3.
Okay. I'm trying to think. So you're saying he'll play another year?
Yeah.
And then get tagged?
I believe they have to option him at some point this offseason. They have to 5th-year option him going into the 4th year.
Okay.
If they option him, they could still pay him next year. I mean, let's say hypothetically it's like in July or whatever. Like, you have to have the 5th-year option. You give him the option, then you play this last season, and then next offseason, even though he has the option, I think you still pay him that offseason.
But
it just keeps
not
him
if not
happy.
he's still, you still get him for the 5th year. Is that
Yeah.
it's a franchise tag basically?
I don't. It's similar, but it's not a franchise tag.
Okay.
But it is very similar. It's every first-round pick gets a 5th-year option.
Okay.
So I would pick that up, and then next offseason, before it even kicks in, just to keep him happy.
Yeah.
Just to say you're here, take the option for us, and then, we'll reward you next year.
Yeah.
So, and then we got, dude, this is 2 weeks in a row. Like 2 great Eagles in our lifetime announced retirement. Fletcher Cox announced after, what was it, 13 seasons?
Yeah.
Or
2012.
14? Yeah.
2012.
announcing his retirement from the NFL. I think he's the third greatest Eagle we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I said
Personally.
that the other day to you. I
Yeah.
think I said that like him and Jason Kelsey could be the top two, arguably like all around players that we've ever seen.
I think you have two other guys ahead of. I think you have Kelsey and one other guy ahead of Cox. I think Cox is the third best that we've ever seen. I think
Who?
Dawkins.
Okay.
Dawkins, Kelsey, and then it's Cox, or Kelsey, Dawkins, Cox.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but I think we talked about it in the group chat. I think you brought up a great point. How many times do you see a defensive tackle
70 sacks.
70 career sacks?
Yeah, he like revolutionized the D tackle position
Absolutely.
for a couple years there.
And I don't think you can compare him to a guy like Aaron Donald because I think Aaron Donald is
a pass rusher. He is a pass rusher,
and he's well above anything. Like he's not just a Hall of Famer. Like he's going to be a legend. He's going to be a top 5 defensive player of all time.
Yep.
111 career sacks. I also think he's played a little bit more defensive end than Cox has.
He has.
They've both played a little bit of defensive end, but I think he's spent a little bit more time there, so it's a little bit easier to get to the quarterback. But
yeah,
I just don't think it's a fair comparison to say, because I've seen that like people comparing him to Aaron Donald, and I don't think that's very fair. But I think, and you and I both agreed in the group chat. I don't think Mike agreed necessarily. He said he'd have to look into it a little bit. But you and I both think he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely. I think that 6-time Pro Bowler. I know it's only 1-time first team All Pro, but 6-time Pro Bowler. I think
it's also really hard to win that in the same
with Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it all, I'm pretty sure like out of his 12 seasons, 8 of them he was in the top 100 players of football. Yeah. And like during a time where you had the Legion of Boom and you had like these really good defensive teams in Baltimore and all of that, where he's been able to continuously be out there and be a force to reckon with. And I will like go back and say kind of what I said to you the other day. I do believe that he still could have played this season.
Oh,
if he wanted to, he still could have played this
at
season.
a high rate, like a high quality season. Yeah, absolutely. I just think I think it's really tough for those offensive defensive line because receivers and running backs and quarterbacks, yes, they get hit a lot, they get pushed around, but it's not every play. Every single play, Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox bang heads with another guy, bang shoulder pads with another guy. You're going up against 300-pound guys. Like, that's not easy.
Like, I'm sure, how old is he now? 34, 35?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm sure conditioning doesn't get any easier as you get older. And, like, do you really want to do it? And, like, they've talked about Cox is that guy that he used training camp to get back into shape, where he worked really, really hard during training camp. I don't know if he wants to do it anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he just might not want to do it anymore.
It's kind of that Elway thing where John Elway said, at 22 to 25, I would wake up on Monday sore, and then I'd be good on Tuesday.
Yep.
And then 25 through 28, he said I would wake up on what did I say, Monday?
Yeah.
I would wake up on Tuesday and I'd be sore. And then by Wednesday I'm fine. And then 28 through 33, it was like I'd wake up on Wednesday and like I'd be sore, and then Thursday I'd be okay. And then he said 33 plus, he said I was just never felt okay. I was just always sore. Yeah. So it was like it eventually, especially in the trenches, that shit adds up, man. That shit,
And this past year didn't help him with not rotating as much as he did before, where he got less time playing. Like he did play a ton of snaps this past year.
Everybody did.
That's what I don't know if maybe he didn't play that many. Maybe he's coming back. Right. You know what I mean? If he rotated more like he did the year before, maybe he's back this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also said, and I do stand with this point, and I brought this up to you guys too, that out of the 3 to come back, we got the worst one back. And I hate to say that because I love Brandon Graham, but he will not be a Hall of Famer.
No.
He'll be an Eagles Hall of Famer,
for sure.
and I would have rather taken the other two over BG back.
As a player, absolutely. I think a lot of people would agree with that, and that could kind of give us a good segue into the next thing. Obviously, Brandon Graham signs a 1-year deal. Do you know how much that was? I don't remember seeing it.
I think 3.5 million.
Okay,
I think.
So a little bit of a discount. Obviously, he comes back for 1 more year. He's hanging it up. This is his retirement tour, and I think he deserves it. I think he's an all-time Eagles great. He's made the biggest play in Eagles history. So, but yeah, no, I don't think many people would disagree with rather having both of those guys back over Brandon Graham. But that doesn't take away our love for Brandon.
Yeah, I love him, and I'll always like remember what he did. But if you gave me the chance to decide, it wouldn't be him
for sure.
It just wouldn't of the three. But I am happy he's back to be back in that room. I think that now he can have more of that leadership role, where it was him, Kelsey, and Cox. Now it's him, where he can. And to me, he looks like the guy, just from what I've seen him in game tapes and all of that, where he's going to be annoying these young guys like Nolan Smith and Jordan Davis, and why can't I think of the other dude, Jalen Carter, where he might be like, "Oh, you need to step up, you need to get out there, you need to get to the quarterback."
Yeah. Where
Cox looked like more of like a silent leader, where he was just going to show you what he was going to get done, where Brandon's going to be in your ear.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, that's all the I think that's all the Eagles news, right? So far.
Yeah.
Obviously legal tampering until what is it noon on Wednesday? Free agency starts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe it's the new league year. That's when that starts. So that's when they're able to actually sign their contract. So hopefully we can get Saquon here safely.
I don't think he don't really have to go far. So.
True, but still, we get him in the NovaCare complex, in bubble wrap.
Get him a press conference.
And then we sign it. Yeah, then we sign that contract, and then the press conference starts, and we'll hear him trash Tiki Barber and the Giants and New York as a whole.
See, I don't think he will. I think
no, he won't.
He doesn't. I mean, Tiki Barber. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why Tiki Barber should have anything to say. The dude went and had a family to provide for, and if the Giants weren't going to pay him what the Eagles are worth paying, why would you not go to
also,
that?
Too, it also comes down to the fact that they just couldn't build around him either, and eventually at some point it's like maybe they did offer him more money last year, but at some point it's man, you guys suck at drafting, you guys suck at bringing talent in.
Yeah,
we're New York, we should do that efficiently, and at some point you're just kind of man, I got to go somewhere where I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Even if I got to take a little bit of less money, which I think he did.
Yeah.
Did you see what he said to Tiki today?
He said two things. Which one are you talking about?
So both. So I'll tell you both. So obviously, if nobody's heard before earlier today, Tiki Barber on a podcast said he has no love lost for Saquon Barkley. You're dead to us, Saquon. Good luck. You're dead to me. And I don't think he meant it necessarily he kind of said, did you watch it?
No, it was probably more of a joking matter.
It was a little bit of a joking matter. And he kind of smiled and chuckled at it a little bit. So I don't think people should take the quote in word form and say oh wow, that's horrible. So Saquon tweeted him back, LOL, yup, you're the prime example of loyalty to a team. I got the deal I wanted, secured more GM.
Yeah, I don't know what that meant.
Guaranteed money, which wasn't given to me before. So if the fans are going to hate me for that, so be it. But I never turned my back on my teammates and always had theirs. I think it's so interesting that Tiki Barber decided to retire early because he didn't like the direction that the Giants were going
in. Yeah.
And the following year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And then he followed it up and said, "You've been to Tiki. This is Saquon to Tiki. You've been a hater since I got to New York. All the dead to me talk, don't smile in my face when you see me." Boom, mic drop.
Philly guy now.
I mean, how do you not eat that up? If you're
he's Philly guy now.
I'll run through a wall for the guy. He hasn't even signed here yet.
What guys are left that you're interested in?
Safety.
So
I'll take
CJ, GJ,
I'll take him. I'll take Simmons. I'll take there's a couple on the board, aren't there? Like there's a couple of good safeties.
Kyle
Looking at the list.
Duggar out of
I'm not
New
familiar.
England, Cameron Cole out of Washington.
Okay.
I'm just going off of the top safeties. Gardner Johnson's 1, Duggar's 2, Curl is 3, Justin Simmons 4, Deshaun Elliott 5,
Okay.
and then you get a ton. Quandre Diggs 6, Eddie Jackson 7, Von Bell 8.
I'll take any of the top 5.
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
Do you
obviously-
necessarily want youth? You want youth there though, correct?
Define what's youth? What's the age?
CJGJ is 26.
Yeah, I think that's youth.
So you probably need to sign him to a 4-year deal, right?
Yeah. You think he's a safety? He could probably play till he's 33, right?
Yeah,
34,
absolutely.
33. That's
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah.
You get him for 8 years, 7 years.
Yep. And then, you could pair him back there with Sidney Jones when he comes. Sidney Jones. Sidney Brown.
Wow.
God forbid Sidney Jones.
Haven't heard that name in a while. You want a funny Sidney Jones? I was driving home from the Shore during that draft. It was the second round. It was a Friday night. I was driving home from the Shore, listening to it on the radio, the draft, and them taking Sidney Jones, and I thought
Dude,
Sidney
you probably
Jones was
lost.
gonna be.
Yeah, you probably lost your
I
mind.
almost crashed. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost crashed.
You're
Yeah.
probably so excited, and then you realize why he was a second
so
round
far.
pick.
I'm sure we texted about it too. I was
Who-
probably texting while I was driving.
Yeah, who was that? Who did we take first that year?
What year was that?
That was 2017.
2017 was Barnett, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is
So
the draft we went to.
Yeah, so Barnett won, and then Sidney Jones second round.
Yep.
And never panned out.
I mean, Barnett has had a decent couple of years.
Dude, Derek Barnett gets a lot of flack.
Yeah.
He he didn't live up to the 14th pick overall, but he's a rotational
what?
guy.
Go look at that first round. He's probably the 6th or 7th best player. That's how bad that draft is.
What was that? 2017, right?
2017. Just
I don't know, dude. I'm just the first couple names that pop in my head when I think of that draft are TJ Watt. Christian McCaffrey was in that draft.
That's 2 players that are better than him.
I think Patrick Mahomes was in that draft.
3.
Let me see. I'll give you.
All right, I'll say 8 or 9. Maybe not 6 or 7, but like 8 or 9.
All right, ready?
He's definitely top 10.
All right, number.
Give me the notable ones.
Myles Garrett,
Yeah, obviously.
Leonard Fournette,
Derek Barnett's still playing.
okay, Jamal Adams.
I think the first half of Jamal Adams' career. Let's look at it like this. How are we gonna? How do you want to look at this? Do you want to look at as
I'm just looking at body of work.
All right, then probably right.
Okay,
Jamal
and
Adams
then
probably.
and probably Leonard Fournette too, right? Body of work.
Yeah, I guess.
Christian McCaffrey,
Obviously,
Mahomes,
obviously.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
This guy could or could not. It's up to you. Deshaun Watson.
I mean, I think Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Derek Barnett is a defensive end.
Okay, Hassan Reddick,
Yeah,
Marlon Humphreys,
probably.
Malik Hooker.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Evan Engram.
Again, he's a guy that like his first 3 or 4 years was incredible. I'm like is he even in the league anymore?
Yeah, Evan Engram.
Yeah.
He's on Jacksonville. He actually had a pretty good year last
Who
year.
am I thinking of? Oh, the tight end. The tight end. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of somebody else. Melvin Ingram. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, Tre'Davious White.
But like Evan Ingram, like again, like he like the last 2 years he hasn't done anything until the last 2 years. So like
Tre'Davious White.
yeah, obviously
David Njoku.
he didn't do anything until this year.
T.J. Watt.
Obviously,
Ryan Ramczyk.
I don't know enough about him, but if I had to guess, probably. So what's that? Like 12 or 13 guys?
Yeah,
So
and
like yeah, so
went
for
14.
around 14 is it's pretty like obviously it wasn't top 6 like I said, but
That I actually
honestly
think
like
that draft actually was pretty decent, to be honest with you.
but like the people that said like he's not a first round pick, like oh, he didn't
No,
turn out
he's
to be a
definitely
first
was a
round
first
pick,
round.
but
He
like
definitely was a first round.
sure,
Well,
right.
yeah, he's definitely a first round pick. And
I
if
mean, I'm sure you could find guys from round 2 through 7 that like probably deserve to be in the first round too, but like
yeah, well, Buda Baker was the first pick of the second round.
yeah,
So like, yeah, but
sure.
I think going into it, he broke Reggie White's records at Tennessee.
Right.
Like he was what he was, and everybody forgets. Like Brandon Graham did force the fumble, but if Derek Barnett doesn't fall on the fumble, like
Yeah.
that's a big part of that year as
Of
well.
course.
So
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a couple more names at safety, secondary. What I think is intriguing too is the fact that they spent money on a running back, which they never do. I mean, we might see a linebacker in the first round.
I know a linebacker in the first round, a safety maybe in the first round.
It's crazy.
I mean, I'm pumped for it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
here
in.
for it.
I'm
Hopefully, it's
in.
not Davion Taylor's brother.
Would you be upset if they went offensive line in the first round?
Absolutely not.
I think it depends who it is.
They need. I don't think Steen is like solidified his starting role as a guard,
Right.
and they need a guard.
We'll obviously look into that as the draft gets closer. Maybe we can do that next week or the week after. But like looking at possible first round picks for the Eagles.
I personally
Obviously,
think
like
they're going
what
corner.
picks? Okay.
I think cornerback is. I know safety is an issue, but I think cornerback is more pressing than safety.
Well, here's what I want you to do. Maybe next week or the week after, like I said, do your homework. I want to see what offensive line is worth taking in the first round.
Okay, I mean there's a ton. It depends on the issue is
I'd be intrigued by that. I'm
you
not gonna lie.
don't really see guards go in the first round.
That's true.
Like you see tackles
Quentin
go in the
Nelson went
first
in the
round.
first round.
Quentin Nelson is was the best in the game, and then Travis Frederick, he's from Dallas, right? Is that the
Yeah.
or Zach Martin? One of them went in the
Martin,
first
yeah.
round too, but like you don't really see guards go in the first round.
Right.
You usually see a tackle, and I don't think that you're gonna go draft the right tackle and move Lane into guard. Like I don't think that
No.
that.
And I think it's too early in Lane's career to go draft a right tackle in the first round. Like obviously Jurgens was a second round pick, but like we kind of knew that this was the end of the last few years of Kelsey. So like to bring him in and Kelsey to show him the ropes, I don't know that Lane is there yet to draft early to say here, because I think Lane could play another 4, 5, 6 years.
I think
Truthfully.
I do too, and I think he could play them at a high level.
Of course.
That's up to him if he's going to want to do it.
Yeah.
I am worried about Lane Johnson just because of his mental health.
Yeah.
With now his best friend is gone, and Kelsey, and I mean I know him and Jordan Mailata have a good relationship, but that line has to be like solidified. They have to all be on the same page.
I'm curious if they obviously, like I said, in the next couple weeks we'll look at it. But like if they go get a young guard, I'm curious if he's gonna be on his. I want him to be on his ass all year. Like
Just
I want Lane
destroyed.
Johnson. Yeah, I want Lane Johnson to be in his head. I want him to pick him up when he falls, but I also want him to push him down when he needs to be pushed down, like things like that. So I think that's like very important.
Did we re-sign Sua Opeta?
I don't know.
I feel like he's always like here and not here, here, not here, activated, unactivated. I feel like he's a good guard. And I actually think I know we let him go last year, but Isaac Sayamalu was a really good guard.
Of course.
And I think this past year he was a top 10 guard in football too. I don't know how much of that credit is Stoutland and his development. So like does it really matter who we go and put at guard? But
I think that's his decision. I think his decision is. I think it's gonna be his decision. I think.
Stoutland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna say. Steen has it. Steen's gonna be the guy. I don't know if he is, but I think he's gonna say yes or no.
Okay.
I think he's going to be the one that says, "Yeah, we're going to be good with Steen there," or "No, we're not going to be good with Steen there. We need to draft somebody."
Steen was
Or
a second round pick, right?
Yeah, I believe, or third. I think a third, wasn't he?
Okay.
Second or third. I really think Stoutland kind of plays that. He's been here long enough. He's obviously the best at what he does. So I think he's going to have a big part in deciding what the Eagles do, whether it's, give me a guard in the first round or the second round. Give me, another tackle, stuff like that. So
yeah, I do think corner. I think they have their corners of the future. I think Keely Ringo is going to be on their future. I think that Job probably will be out there, but I think they need to draft a corner. The guy that I love is would just fit perfectly on this team would be Kool-Aid McKinsley.
Yeah.
Out of Alabama. Like you can't go wrong drafting an Alabama corner.
Right.
But if the front four are getting there or front five are getting there, it doesn't matter. Me and you again could be back there playing corner.
Right. I don't know if the city of Philadelphia will do that too much though. So
wide receiver 3. Who are you thinking? What are you thinking there?
I already told you guys last week.
You?
No. Another white guy.
You really want him to be your number 3 there.
No, I want them to draft him though.
Okay. I'm in on Luke McCaffrey. Yeah. I like him. He can throw the ball too, run some trick plays.
Yeah.
Little gadgets.
Yeah, he's Edelman.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He'll be Edelman. Honestly, I really haven't thought about it too much. Not Watkins, I can tell you that much.
Not Watkins, not Zacchaeus.
I think Zacchaeus is a great number 4.
Okay.
But honestly, in this offense, he might fit fine.
Yeah. What about, are you in on bringing Julio back? Or you're just done with Julio? And that's, I don't know. I mean, Julio is what Julio is.
Right. They should have put him at tight end last year when Dallas Goedert got hurt.
Yeah. That's a good question right there.
Yeah.
Tight end.
Right.
What do you think?
I wouldn't be shocked if they drafted somebody in the middle rounds.
Okay.
The 4th, 5th, 6th round kind of thing. More so a guy that could, I think your number 2 tight end can be a guy that can catch the ball, but I really want him to be a blocker.
Okay.
But also at the same time, it's I kind of really would like to see them go get a more established backup tight end, because I don't know that, because obviously Goddard's not very reliable and stays on the field. Yeah. They
did re-sign Albert O. I don't know what the contract was, but I know that he got a contract.
Right.
He actually got a contract extension. It was a 1-year deal, so not much.
Right. So I kind of hope he's the third guy,
And you're out on Stoll.
I mean, what did he show you when Dallas Goedert went down? He had 1 target.
Yeah, he's not going to catch. He only is a blocking tight end.
Right. So the problem with Stoll being your number 2 tight end is that takes a position totally off of the field.
Yeah.
It's like Ben Simmons. It's like Ben Simmons with the Sixers. It's
oh god,
it's 5-on-4 in a half court.
What about Calcaterra?
I think it's the same issue. Honestly,
I don't
think he threatens enough. I don't think he threatens enough to. Oh shit! We gotta cover this guy.
Yeah, they're not afraid of him.
Also, I'm not looking for prime Jason Witten either, or prime Antonio Gates, or Tony Gonzalez.
Or Travis.
Just somebody just right, just somebody Richard Rodgers. He was a decent number 2.
You love Richard Rodgers.
Love Richard Rodgers, dude. He didn't drop anything. He got 10 throws a year. Got 10 targets a year. He caught all 10. He caught a touchdown.
My favorite Richard Rodgers was that the Super Bowl year or the year before the Super Bowl?
No, I don't think he was here for the Super Bowl.
Okay, so the year before the Super Bowl, Goddard goes out.
I think you meant the 2017 Super Bowl. Sorry.
No. The first call they make is to Richard Rodgers, who just shows up on a Thursday. Sunday, he goes in the game. He's got 10 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah. Those are all his 10 targets all year.
Yeah.
in that game.
Yeah, and he needed to be the tight end one that game and just like showed up and was the tight end one.
I believe, don't hold me to it, but I believe he caught Carson Wentz's last touchdown as an Eagle. Do you know who caught his first one as an Eagle?
I do know this.
Touchdown.
Hold up. It was
Do you
against
know who
the
caught?
Browns. Hold up.
Yeah.
It was against the Browns. Nelson Aguilar?
Nope.
I do know this.
Close.
Bryce Craig's?
Nope.
Josh Huff?
Nope. I'm gonna give you one more guess before I tell you.
You said close with Aguilar.
SEC team.
Um,
I think they're SEC. I don't even know what the hell anybody is anymore.
what is his name? Dorial Green Beckham?
Nope.
Who was it?
Jordan Matthews.
Oh yeah, they are an SEC.
Vandy.
SEC Vandy, yeah. Jordan Matthews. I miss Jordan Matthews. He was another like solid player.
Yeah. Do you know who caught Carson Wentz's first pass in the NFL? In that same game?
Darren Sproles?
Nope. Pac-12.
Pac-12. Zach Ertz?
Yep.
Yeah. Never hurts to go to Ertz.
So, all right. So yeah. So obviously a lot going on with the Eagles. We're kind of running out of time here, so I wanted to. I want to talk a little bit about the Phillies.
Dude, let's get into baseball.
Yeah. So obviously, free agency starts Wednesday. So by next week, hopefully, we'll have paper signed for Saquon Barkley, and we'll have more names to talk about next week. I'm finally getting to the point where like I'm not mad at the Eagles anymore. So like it's like today really helped. So it was a healing process today. But yeah, so let's look at the Phillies. I just been dying to talk about the Phillies. Like I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but like I just been dying to talk about the potential of this team. Like I'm shocked that Montgomery and Snell haven't signed yet. I'm shocked that I saw a list today. It was like Montgomery and Snell and who's the other big free agent? Oh, JD Martinez were like the top 3 free agents left, and then like the next 6 were like Lorenzen and like so like really wild names. And I was like, wow, like Lorenzen's the 5th best free agent available.
Well, it just shows you like I don't understand what's going on with them too. Like I guess those 3. Yeah, those 3. Do you think it's Scott Boras that's doing this?
I think it plays a part. Yeah, sure.
He represents both of them.
I really think Jordan. I think they're both different. I think people know that Snell's only had 2 great years, and they're scared to give him a lot of money because he only goes 5 innings and, obviously a long career. He's had a lot of thrown a lot of pitches in his career. So like I think that also plays in. But I also think people are scared to give Montgomery money because he's been up and down in his career.
Yeah, he's never really proven.
He was great in the playoffs. Not the World Series, but the rest of the playoffs last year. He was fantastic. But it just kind of seems like I think he's a little bit younger. I think he's 30 or 31, Montgomery. He wants that Nola deal, and I don't think people want to give him that Nola deal. People forget. I mean, I don't know. I guess he forgets that Nola was a top 3 Cy Young vote finalist one year.
Yeah.
So, and he's proven in the playoffs 2 years in a row. So, like, yeah, I just don't. I just think they're holding out until they get what they want. And at what point does it like? Do they say, okay, I'm not going to get what I want?
Yeah. Are they willing to take a 1-year prove it deal?
Right.
Like
I think Snell is more likely to do that, but
yeah, I don't understand what's going on with either one of them. I don't think the Phillies are in on either one of them at this point.
At this point, I agree. Mostly because of another guy I want to talk about today. But I agree. I don't think they're necessarily in on them anymore because I think it's gotten to a point where it's like you're not going to get what you want.
Yeah.
If you don't take this, then we're out.
Yep.
But I listen, man. A couple times this spring training, Mick Abel, dude.
Yeah,
he looks like he's got stuff, man.
He had a good showing today too.
He's a top 50, I think, prospect in majors. The number 2 for the Phillies.
Yeah,
Or number 2
behind.
pitcher.
Yeah, obviously behind.
Obviously behind Painter,
Painter.
but is he the number 2 pitcher? I think he's the number 2 pitcher. Because
Yeah,
I think Aiden Miller's the number 2 prospect. Crawford's number 3, and he might be number 4. But regardless, like, man, today he struck out Soto, and
Soto. Yeah,
Soto looked at it like, what the hell was that pitch?
yeah,
So I think he might fight for. I think going into spring training and pitchers and catchers, I don't think they thought April was going to start up here. And they still might not. They still might keep him down until the end of April because of that stupid rule. But
yeah,
I really think they genuinely are looking at it like I am, where it's like, wait, like this kid really like might actually have it now.
yeah. He's better than Christopher Sanchez.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you think that like now they're looking at it like, man, like does he have the 5th spot over Sanchez? Like, I think what they're going to do and what they should do is April comes, they send him down, let him throw every 5th game, and we try Sanchez out for a couple weeks. And if it doesn't work out or if it doesn't pan out to the way that Abel is throwing down in AAA, I think then you make the move.
And so, and you're usually in for this, so I don't know if you're feeling the same way. A 6-man rotation.
If Sanchez comes out and looks solid and Abel looks solid, I'd be in.
Okay.
I'd be open to that.
Yeah. And
I think it helps.
Yeah, it does help it, especially with an aging Zach Wheeler that you just gave some money to, and Aaron Nola getting him that rest. I don't know what his splits look like with a 6-man versus 5-man rotation. I wonder what those. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would wonder if you get out of the groove a little bit when you go into a 6-man rotation versus a 5-man rotation.
Yeah, you might, but I think it's something you get used to eventually.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the pitch clock. You know, all these players bitched about the pitch clock. By July, like everybody was fine with it.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of comes along with it too. He was really good 2 years ago in the playoffs on the extra day of rest. So that's why I'm thinking like, why would you not want to pitch every 6th game and make all this money? You know,
Save your arm the wear and tear, especially
instead of starting 36 games, you'll start 30.
What did he sign? What was his contract?
Who's that?
Nola.
7 years, 172 or 175.
And how old is he?
30.
Okay, so I didn't know if he was going to be up for another contract. Like, you would want to save your arm.
Well, I guess it depends how these 7 years go, because obviously Verlander and Scherzer and those guys are Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Outlier. Once in a lifetime kind of players. But those guys are throwing throwing gas at mid to late 30s.
Yep.
And that's why I kind of think we talked about Wheeler last week. Like, that's why I kind of think Wheeler makes sense at the 3 years, because the 3 years comes up, he's 33. He's 36, 37. I think if he's still got it, all right, well, here's another 2-3 year deal.
Yeah. What are your worries right now for the 2024 Phillies?
My worries. So wait, really quick. Yeah, so Nola was a 7-year 172.
Okay.
So my worries. Obviously I would have really liked another bullpen piece.
Okay.
A back end guy. I don't think it's the end all be all. I think they can get one at the deadline. Kind of like Arizona did last year. My worries. You know what, dude? Like, I feel like I don't have any off the top of my head.
You're not worried about Johan Rojas hitting the ball?
Define worry.
Because
I think if he is a Gold Glove type, it's very hard to win a Gold Glove, especially with Michael Harris and all these great center fielders, defensive center fielders. It's very hard to win a Gold Glove. But I think if he plays great defense and hits like 240, 250, sign me up.
Okay, so are you worried that your left fielder and center fielder combined may hit 18 home runs this season?
Who's my left fielder? Marsh?
Brandon Marsh. Like, does that play any?
No, because I think the infield could get 80 plus for themselves. I think Schwarber can get 40 plus. I think JT can get you 20 to 25.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Castellanos can get you 20 to 25.
Yeah, I'm worried about them both. You both needing either one of them to come up in a clutch situation. Like the playoffs, Rojas wasn't on it. Like it was almost
Right.
better to give him an out. Marsh can surprise you, and he actually had a pretty good year last year. So I wonder if he gets any better with the power.
Yeah, I'm not worried about power by from those two guys. Like it's. I think you have enough power in the infield. Like I think Harper gets you 30 plus.
Mhm.
I think Bohm gets you 20. I think Turner gets you 20 to 25, and I think Stock gets you 15 to 20.
Yeah.
So like I'm not a math guy. So what's that? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Uh yeah, that's 80, 85, 90
Yeah.
home runs
Okay.
just in the infield. And then plus JT another 20,
Yeah.
20.
I mean,
And then the DH gets you 40.
yeah. Okay. Um, are you worried about pitching at all? Not bullpen, obviously. You said
Not right now, no.
okay.
I,
So
I think I think Wheeler is a top 5 pitcher in the league. I think Nola is really good at being your number 2. I think I'm comfortable with Suarez as your 3. Walker, like we'll see what he's got, but like again, like I know his ERA was high last year, but like he gets you 14 or 15 wins as your 3 or as your 4 or number
you
5. Like
can't
we'll
complain.
take it, yeah.
Yep.
And then I think we talked about earlier the Sanchez and Abel thing. Like I think that's encouraging. I think it's good. I think it's a good problem.
Okay. Yeah. I
And
mean,
I would take Jordan Montgomery too. If
yeah.
they were like, hey, here's a 1-year, 2-year deal, sign me up.
Uh, okay. I think we did this last year before the season started. The Phillies will finish what in the division
Second.
behind the Braves?
Yep.
They'll finish with how many wins?
Do you know what their over under is? Is it 92 and a half?
Let me see.
I don't know that the Braves finish with 100 wins again.
Okay.
They were unbelievable last year. I mean they could do it two times in a row, 2 years in a row, but
Dude, the Braves are 102 is their over under.
I go unders with the Braves. I think they're at like 97, 98 wins.
The Phillies are at 90 and a half.
I go 92 with the Phillies.
Okay. And number 1 is the Dodgers at 103 and a half.
I'd probably go overs because they fall apart in the playoffs. So
So over 90 wins.
Yep.
Second in the division.
Yep.
How many All-Stars are in the Phillies this year?
Ooh, well, I'm hoping Harper for a bet. I got him. So I had a free $5 bet. It was plus 1,200 to win MVP.
Okay.
So I whatever, it was free $5. So
Why
I was
not?
like, fuck it, you know. So I think Harper.
Okay.
I think Stott gets one.
Okay.
Turner.
Okay. JT
No, I think JT's just about
at the end of his
yeah.
that run.
Yeah,
Wheeler.
sure, why not?
Okay.
We'll go those 4.
So four
Yeah.
of them. Okay.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the other one I asked last year. What record what would happen this year to be a collapse, or what would make it a bad season? Just missing playoffs, first round out.
Well, I think those questions are always hard to answer because I think every year it's a different. There's a different expectation. Like the last 2 years, right? Like, you know, how could you sit here and not say that if they don't get to the World Series, it's not
A success.
you know, right? But like at the same time, it's like the Dodgers are really good, the Braves are really good. Like, so it's really hard to say. And again, like I think it depends. Like, do they collapse like they did against Arizona? Like I think that was a failure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if they play a great series and lose on giving up a home run in the 9th inning, you know, maybe it's not a failure. You know, I don't think it is a failure. So I think that's a hard thing to answer.
Is Rob Thompson their coach next year?
Yeah.
Okay. I just know he said this is his second year of the 2-year contract.
Right.
I didn't know if he's back next year.
Well, I mean, is he back? Is he back on his own turn? Like I could see him say, "No, I'm done." Like if they collapse or miss the playoffs or whatever it is, and that probably is them firing him. You know, giving him the respect to say, I'm going to step down and retire." But like, uh, I don't I think it's gonna take a lot for them to be like, you're not coming
Ready to
back
move
next year.
on from him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna log into
Like if they're the 4 seed again, right? Like if they're the first wild card again, and they lose to like, I don't know, because I think Miami's going to be a bottom 5 team this year in the league. Personally, I don't know if they lose to like a lesser team in the first round in the wild card round, like that's a disappointment.
Okay.
But if they go again to the NLDS and or what was the NLCS? If they go to the NLCS again, or even the NLDS, and they fight a hard series and they just lose, like I it's really hard to say that compared because look what we've had the last 2 years.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna put money where mouth is right now. I have FanDuel open right now.
Okay.
Let's not FanDuel. Yeah, FanDuel. Let's do a $5 bet.
Okay.
All right, so AL MVP.
So I already did a little bit of this on my own. I didn't do AL MVP though. So what are our top 5 here?
The favorites Judge, followed by Soto, Corey Seager, Julio Rodriguez, and Yordan Alvarez.
I fucking love Judge. I know that's like a crazy thing to say, especially in Philadelphia. I think Judge is the second best player in the world, personally.
Behind Shohei?
Yeah. I think he gets the MVP. I do.
Okay.
I think especially the other guys, like I don't see the Yankees succeeding without Judge, even with Soto. So like, yes, you can lose 90 games and win an MVP. Like I think Stanton did that, but like
Yeah.
But like, I think what keeps the Yankees going, and I think the Yankees make the playoffs. I don't think they win the division, but I think they make the playoffs not because of Soto, but because of Judge, and I think that's what gets them the MVP.
NL MVP. Out
What
of
are
the
our top 5?
out of the top 5, 3 of them are Dodgers.
Yeah.
Acuna, Betts, Freeman, Shohei, and Tatis Jr.
I definitely don't think it's Tatis.
I think it's Shohei.
Okay, I'm fine with that because for another reason, which we'll get to.
National League Cy Young. Top 5 is Strider, Wheeler, Max Fried, Logan Webb, and Yamamoto.
It's so funny because the other day, I think it was the first spring training game. Nola had a bird shit on him, and his odds went down in Cy Young voting.
Really?
So yeah, like meaning has a
Yeah.
better chance to win it.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, man. I did think about it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that Yamamoto is going to win Rookie of the Year
Okay.
for NL. So I don't think it's going to be him. Let's see who's next on the list. Zach Gallen, Tyler Glasnow, Justin Steele, Nola. See, Strider just seems like the easy pick here just because they're going to win so many games.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Strider.
Okay.
All right. 2 more. And then I'll let you know what the odds are. AL Rookie of the Year. Evan Carter, Jackson Holiday, Wyatt Langford, Colt Keith, and Parker Meadows.
I think the popular choice is gonna be Jackson.
He's second favorite, yeah.
Yeah. Evan Carter came on really late last year. Obviously, he didn't play a full season because he wouldn't be a rookie.
Yeah.
This year, but I think I'm gonna go Jackson Holiday. Right? I mean, that's the fun.
And National League Rookie of the Year, Are you good with Yamamoto?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Who else is in that top 5?
Young Hoo Lee,
Oh, yeah.
Shotu Amagdagia, Kyle Harrison, and Jackson Merrill.
Okay.
All right. That is a $5 if they all hit 2,920 bucks.
Okay.
So shoot
When
that
when
in.
when we win, I'll send you my 250.
Okay.
And
Sounds
then we'll split.
sounds good.
Or I'll send you the 250 later this week.
Okay.
So do you want to do divisions too? I think
Yeah.
divisions. I play. So wait, really quick. Going back to the Otani. The reason I agree with the MVP, I bet him to lead the league in homers this year.
Okay.
The entire league, not just National League, the entire league. I think he hits 60 homers this year.
Really?
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy. But I think he goes 60.
All right. Let's
So
find
I bet him to have to lead the league in homers. I bet Harper to win the MVP. I bet Harper's overs in his home runs is 31.5. And then I bet division winners. Parlayed them.
Okay. The
So-
Bengals just cut Joe Mixon.
Okay.
All right.
That's not a
AL,
surprise. I think that I thought there were some rumblings about that.
AL East winner. Baltimore.
I had Baltimore, yes.
Okay.
Over I think Yankees are the favorite, right?
They are.
Yeah.
AL Central.
American League Central, I had the Twins. I think
Okay.
they're the favorite.
They are. I'm going to go with the Guardians here.
Okay.
I-
So the only reason I don't think it's the Guardians is because of what they showed you last year, where at the deadline they were 3 games out of first place. They were in the wild card race, and they traded everybody. So like I don't know where they stand in trying to compete. That's what
I just
holds me
love
back.
Jose Ramirez. Like
He's
I
great.
love Jose Ramirez.
He's the best third baseman in the league. I'm just telling you, it worries me. That worries me a lot. Like you're 3 games out of first place on July 30 or August 1st, whatever it was, and you trade away Ahmad Rosario. I understand he was at for Noah Syndergaard. Like
Yeah.
they're kind of just waving the white flag, and that's the only thing that worries me about Cleveland. I think they have really good pitching. I like Bieber. I like McKenzie. I like their closer, which I think could be traded this this season by the
Who's
deadline.
that? Clase?
Class A or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's the only thing that worries me about betting Cleveland. Like that's why I held off from Cleveland. I went Minnesota, and I think everybody else in that division stinks. Although I think Detroit and Kansas City are going to be better than what they were.
Okay. AL West.
Who did I have?
Houston?
I had the Rangers.
Okay. We'll go Rangers here. NL East. I'm going Braves.
Braves. Yep.
NL Central.
I went with the Reds.
Reds. I was actually feeling Milwaukee.
Okay. Well, again, Milwaukee. Remember they trade Burns.
Yeah.
Corbin Burns. They're kind of letting guys walk away. Kind of seems like a rebuild. So
Okay. And NL,
that's what kind of held me away. And you also have Chicago too, which is like I think it's gonna be between them and Cincinnati that really fight for that division.
and then NL West. I'm going Dodgers.
Yeah. They're gonna have over 100 wins. So
$5 on that wins 1361.
okay.
All right, cool.
Did you went Milwaukee?
I did.
Yeah, I think that's probably what got it to go as
Oh,
high as it
yeah.
did. Because I think mine was the only differences we had were I had Cincinnati and you had Milwaukee, and then I had Minnesota. And did you take Cleveland?
Cleveland. Yeah.
Which I think it's like a $600 win for me.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything else to talk about?
Do you want to talk Sixers?
I mean,
like, are you hanging it up this year?
no.
At this point?
No.
Okay.
I think if Embiid Maxey comes back tomorrow night. I think if Embiid comes back this year, you play him. We kind of already talked about this a little bit. I think if you could just stay within the 6 seed, within this top 6, I think you have any shot. I like home court doesn't matter to me. I think NBA it's the biggest.
Yep.
Crock of shit. I think anybody can go anywhere and win.
Yep.
So I think if Embiid's ready to go, I think you play him last couple games, you condition him, you get him ready to go, and they go into the playoffs.
How are you viewing Healed right now?
Well, obviously he's coming out. He came off the bench the other night. I'm not gonna like. I really want to see him with Embiid. I do. I really want to see these shooters around Embiid. So like, I don't know that we could necessarily have like an opinion on him, and I don't think he's been bad. Like,
No, what's he
Um,
averaging 15?
something like that.
It's
I
like
can
a
look it up.
quiet 15.
The first like 5 or 6 or 7 games, he was really really good, and then he kind of started to get a little quiet, and they started taking him. He started coming off the bench. I think it was the last game, but he healed. All right, let's see what he's averaging with the Sixers. With the Sixers, yeah, he's at 15, averaging 15. Which 2 weeks ago he was averaging like 23.
22. Yeah.
So and he's shooting 42% from
Yeah.
3. So
And Tobias, where are you at on that guy?
it's so funny because I jinxed Tobias. I was telling somebody the other day, or I'm sorry, around the deadline, I said if you trade for Healed, I might have even said it on the show. You trade for Healed, you bring him back next year on a good deal. You know, making 18 to 22 million a year, whatever it is, 25. You bring him back, maybe not 25. I think I would do like 18 to 22. You bring him back. You bring obviously Embiid, Maxey. Then you have who was it? Batum or not? No,
Batum's
Batum's
retiring.
Yeah. Oh, then I said if you bring Tobias back on that $15 to $20 million deal, and then you go out and you trade for Markkanen. You get Markkanen, because I think he has 1 year left on his deal at $18 million. Unbelievable 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
Great.
I love
Would be great
Markkanen.
on this team. I think if you go do that, I think you have a real chance. So I said that, and the minute I said that, the next game, Tobias Harris looked like me out there.
Was that the
So-
game you put 4 up?
Probably. He's he was brutal for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then he had the game where like he took he was 3 for 9. Like you can't take 9 attempts in a game. Like
Not
Embiid's
when
not there.
you're Embiid and Maxey's been out. Like
Well, in that span, Maxey was in, but because this was like 2 weeks ago, and I think Maxey only missed like the last 3 or 4 games. But
with the concussion,
yeah, which is another debacle. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just like you can't take 9 attempts a game. You have to take. He averages like 15 a game. You have to take 20, like at least if Embiid's not in. And, and then he had the 4-point game, and he's got the 12-point game, but then he came back and he put up a 31 piece and a 28 piece, and then everybody was like, oh, there's Tobias. And granted, I think he was still dealing with his injury, which isn't totally fair. And then he went back to the
Tobias we know and love.
Yeah, the 13, 8, or the 15, whatever it was, when you need him to score.
Tobias to me just screams if the team's doing well and he can hide, like he'll do what he's supposed to do, but he doesn't want to be held accountable to, like when he has to be the guy, he doesn't do well.
Well, that's what we've learned the last 4 years and that's why he's got to be your 4th best player. So we've already seen the series against Atlanta when he was your 3rd best player. He can't be, because the game that Embiid can't show up or doesn't show up, and the game that when Ben Simmons was here won't show up. It's you need Tobias to show up, and he doesn't.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's the Sixers right now. But yeah, so anything else you want, or do you want to get out of here?
I'm good.
All right, well, just like all the bullshit Mike says, go like us, follow us, tell your mother, tell your father, tell your brother, tell your coworkers, tell everybody to listen to Phired Up, watch us.
Tell
Saquon. Yes, tell Saquon. I can walk to the NovaCare. I'll go grab him.
Get him to jump on the pod.
Yeah. So so I think that's it for the show. Until next week. See you guys then.